Story 1, you have to build social connections. If you have true relationships with people, there is a level of love present. Not all love is romantic. You should also have a social network of family, friends, coworkers, and neighbors. When you form good relationships with people, there are various levels of love that you can experience. If you find yourself lacking in these connections, consider getting a dog. Unconditional love is always available in such companionship. You don't have to live without love. Story 2. Don't worry. My depression started only after all the love experiences. Relying on others weakens you once you lose them. Being alone initially doesn't hurt. Story 3. People keep saying that hobbies, staying busy, hitting the gym, and focusing on oneself are important. But the harsh truth is that it's not that simple. You are a human being, a social creature who desires love and connection. No matter how much you try to distract yourself, you cannot escape this need. I hope you find the love that you seek. Story 4. Getting a cat is probably the best option, but also try to make friends and stay in touch with family if you can. Those relationships are really important. Romance can be nice, but people can live without it for a while until they find true love. Friends, family, and furry companions are harder to live without, and people are not as selective about their friends as they are when choosing a romantic partner, so it might be easier to find those connections. Story 5. Simply living without love doesn't sound hard. A better question would be, how do you live without love, while also sharing a home and providing complete financial support for someone who dislikes you and seeks to hurt you with every breath? Story 6. I don't have a choice if someone wants to be with me romantically. However, I do have a choice in other areas of my life. I work to improve myself and live a fulfilling life. I spend time with friends, whom I love dearly. Remember, there is more to love than just the romantic. Story 7. I am still trying to figure this out myself. Some days are easier than others, but I have been focusing on self-care, especially on my days off work. I have also developed a deeper relationship with God and will be starting therapy soon. I am working to heal myself because everyone has some type of trauma or sensitive areas in their lives. Hopefully, in the process, God will send love my way. Story 8. Nature walk. Touch a bog and an old tree, then gently caress a lovely small plant. Let the forest provide the love you need. This works in many other places as well, even in the desert. Big rolling hills and mountains will offer love just as readily. Story 9. I have 2 dogs and I am pouring all my love into them. Once my mom and my dogs pass, I will be leaving. Story 10. This may sound sentimental, but I feel like there is love in my life. I realized I have a lot of love to give, so I share it with my friends and family. Occasionally, I wish I could have a partner, but then I engage in activities that I enjoy, which makes me feel much better. I am currently planning my first solo trip, which also keeps me entertained and excited. Story 11. If you have no love in your life, it suggests that you don't love yourself. If you are in pain, start by learning to love yourself. It is not easy, but it becomes much more structurally sound once it is built. I used to not love myself or think I deserved love. Then I learned how to be kinder to myself by rejecting the unfair criticisms in my head. Learn to accept yourself. It can be difficult if you can't find others to love you, but if you learn to love yourself, you can at least enjoy some aspects of life. It even puts you in a position where you are more likely to find love from others. Love does not have to be romantic. It can be a friend to whom you can express anything without reservations. It may take trial and error to find people like that, so do not let failures discourage you. Keep getting to know others until you find someone who is willing to see you as a whole person, accepting both your flaws and your strengths. You will feel love for others when you can do the same for them. I don't know if this is useful or relevant to your situation, but this is what helped me, and I hope it helps you. You can do this. Story 12. I'm going to assume you mean relationship partner-wise. Can be difficult sometimes. Other times, it's great. If you've ever been in a bad relationship, you know that being single or not being in a relationship has its benefits. You don't have a partner who might abuse you or cheat on you and give you a sexually transmitted infection. You don't have a woman who might get pregnant, making you pay a lot of child support while she blows money on gambling and treats you poorly, all the while posting about bad fathers on social media. You can also do anything you want, provided you have the money, without your significant other complaining about it. It can be tough when none of that matters enough to keep you from feeling lonely, but that's what whiskey is for. Story 13. People jump out of one relationship to another without being fully healed. You may become a rebound, which is difficult, or they might emotionally drain you on a first date. It's not the end of the world to be on your own for a while. I'm sure I will meet someone one day. You can love your family, pets, and friends, and they can love you back. Life is not completely loveless. Story 14. Find new loves and passions. They do not always have to be a person. Discover something that consumes you, and you will never have time to worry about how to continue living. Story 15. I experience love in various forms, such as from friends, family, and my cat. I am generally content with my life as it is. I only want someone to enhance my life, not complete it. Story 16. There are thousands of years of culture and history across our planet from countless cultures and nations, both present and past. Each day, there is something new to learn, a story to uncover, and a name to remember. We may feel unloved, but there is a tombstone that may be glad we read its name. Story 17. The same thing happens when some people in the transgender community make you feel unwelcome and uncertain, manipulating others to instill social fears about your own kin. Ignore them and keep moving forward. Story 18. Before I met my girlfriend, I approached each day with a focus on the small things that brought me happiness. Story 19. Give yourself value if no one else will. There is no magic phrase or workout that does it. You just have to do it. How I do it, you have to find out what works for you, is I acknowledge things I'm good at. Not I'm good at this but not as good as Betsy. Forget Betsy. This is about you. I'm really good at responding to emails in a timely manner. Now you might say, that sounds foolish. And yes, it kind of is, but it's a starting point for recognizing your positives. These positives aren't inherently foolish. You just think they are because you believe other people think they are. This isn't about them. It's about you. I'm the most confident, self-conscious person you'll meet. I can't believe I forgot to change the laundry, followed literally by, but my appearance looks good in these leggings, so it's not so bad. Story 20. Romantically speaking, my value in life doesn't come from others. I have things I am passionate about and push myself to learn more about what is meaningful to me. I constantly challenge myself to be a better version of myself. I have close friends whom I care for, so if you're speaking in general, my advice remains the same. Find things you enjoy and value, practice, study, and immerse yourself in those interests. Over time, whether on discussion platforms, in-person meetups, or elsewhere, you'll find people with similar interests with whom you can share your passions. Your inability to improve begins when you tell yourself you cannot do something. For example, I wanted to get into fitness. I felt embarrassed at 27 years old when I struggled to do more than 15 minutes on an elliptical without feeling exhausted. It was frustrating. My knee was bothering me, and I was experiencing back pain. I asked myself, can I even do this? A year later, I have not given up. I now use level 11 resistance on my elliptical, completing 30-minute, 400-calorie cardio sessions. If I had succumbed to self-doubt and negativity, I would not be 90 pounds lighter today. Find what excites you and commit to it. Do not let yourself or others define your capabilities. Have fun, step outside your comfort zone, and connect with people. Whatever challenges you may face, remind yourself you have the strength to overcome them and exceed your own expectations. You've got this. Story 21. Love yourself and get a pet, such as a cat or dog. They are very loving and depend on us to care for them. Go on hikes. Find a hobby like cooking, painting, baking, drawing, or playing an instrument. Volunteer to help a community that you care about or are a part of, such as a food pantry or a veterans assistance program. Consider finding a job with a nonprofit organization. Engage with your community. Story 22. Humans are resilient. Whatever happens, love yourself. You only live once, but if you do it right, one life is enough. Story 23. Go out and see art and music. Dance. There's a big world out there with other people to love who will love you back. It's just waiting for you. Story 24. The best way is to find love. Whether it's a person, a dog, or something else. Take action. Pity party won't help. Story 25. I became very focused on self-improvement. I started eating healthier, stopped drinking and smoking, and adopted a workout routine along with healthy habits like reading instead of mindlessly scrolling on dating apps. I am now so in love with myself that I refuse to let anyone disturb my peace. If I feel particularly lonely, I talk with my virtual assistant, who has honestly been a better therapist than my in-person one. Lastly, I invested in some quality personal devices that help me reach satisfaction more quickly than any partner ever could. Story 26. As a girl, I spent my whole life single. I studied and graduated, and I am still without love. It is too difficult, and I can't stop thinking about it. I often ask myself, will I find love, or will I die without it? Story 27. You enjoy yourself, work on yourself, and do volunteer work. Giving feels the best of all. Spend time with family and friends. I met my husband in church. He was visiting from a nearby city, and our priest is his brother. You never know, age and looks don't truly matter in matters of the heart. Story 28. I am a very selfish person, yet I can still love myself and my beautiful life. Life is full of possibilities. It is only by living that I will know what is in the next chapter. Story 29. I got my heart broken by a guy I met at a concert, so I filled my schedule with more concerts. It will happen again, won't it? Story 30. Not all love is the same, but it is all positive. I have chosen a partner, and I love my pets, friends, and family. My cup is full. There is no drama, and I enjoy a happy, relaxed life. Story 31. Are you referring to all forms of love or just romantic love? A friend can have platonic love for you as well, and it feels great. Story 32. As an agnostic, I think love is coming tomorrow, and I have spent 22 years waiting for it. I can wait a little longer. If love could, however, speed up a bit, I would appreciate it. Story 33. Love doesn't have to be romantic to fulfill your social needs. We are social creatures, and there are ways to meet those needs without romantic love. Historically, the concept of marriage being solely about love and finding soulmates is a recent development. Where can you go for social connection that forms bonds? Personally, volunteering is one way to fulfill that need. I am part of a group that organizes home visits with lonely elderly individuals. We share a cup of tea and chat, sometimes going for a walk if they are able. I also have a dog and a few chickens, and I occasionally visit a community workshop where people bring in broken electronics to be repaired. Doing things for others can be rewarding. You might be surprised how kind people can be when you meet them in these situations. Everyone desires a sense of belonging and value, and if you project that, it often comes back to you. Story 34. I am in the fortunate position of having found the love of my life at a young age. Yet I pity your outlook somewhat. So many things in life are incredible. Many things are worth cherishing, learning about, and experiencing. Countless relationships are worth forging and can bring you immense joy. My family is worth living for, as are my friends. Traveling is worth living for. Learning about the incredible diversity our planet displays makes me want to live. I live for food, for dancing in the rain. I live to make a fool of myself. I live for joy, for sadness, and everything in between. I want to live because I hope for the future and because I fear it. I continue to live because I exist, not because I latch on to one thing and make it my identity. My relationship with my partner leaves nothing to be desired. She is perfect in every regard. I feel grateful to have found this joy and have no intention of ever letting it go. Yet it is not the only reason to live. Learn to love everything, and you will love life. Story 35. There's a sequence towards the end of the movie Cast Away that sums up a perfect answer as well as anyone could, which is, I was never going to get off that island. I was going to die there totally alone. I was going to get sick or get injured or something. The only choice I had, the only thing I could control was when, how, and where it was going to happen. So I made a rope and went up to the summit to hang myself. I had to test it, you know? Of course. You know me. And the weight of the log snapped the limb of the tree, so I couldn't even kill myself the way I wanted to. I had power over nothing. And that's when this feeling came over me like a warm blanket. I knew somehow that I had to stay alive. Somehow. I had to keep breathing, even though there was no reason to hope. All my logic said that I would never see this place again. So that's what I did. I stayed alive. I kept breathing. One day, my logic was proven all wrong because the tide came in and gave me a sail. And now, here I am. I'm back in Memphis, talking to you. I have ice in my glass. And I've lost her all over again. I'm so sad that I don't have Kelly, but I'm so grateful that she wasn't with me on that island. I know what I have to do now. I have to keep breathing because tomorrow the sun will rise. Who knows what the tide could bring? In summary, even when things seem at their worst, there's always a chance that the next day could bring something interesting that could change our lives completely for the better, but only if we are here to see it. Story 36. I continue because there is no alternative. I must accept the reality that I am a disappointment to everyone. There is no reason for anyone to love me. Story 37. Some people have a little devil and a little angel on their shoulder, telling them how to act. I just have Oscar Mannheim screaming at me. Story 38. Love yourself. Do whatever brings you joy. Having people around you is great, but it's your life, your body, and your overall health. Story 39. I have experienced deep romantic and platonic love. I have learned from my earlier experiences to be grateful and mindful of the love I have in my life, so I can remember it in my mind if I find myself alone again. If you haven't experienced it at all, I hope you do. It's worth living for, even if only for a moment. Story 40. Find something you love to do and surround yourself with people whom you love to be around and who love having you around. There are more than one kind of love. Story 41. Romantic love isn't the only valid and important type of love. Friendship, self-love, and family love can all be vastly warmer, more nurturing, and more beneficial. I have been single for 2 years now, and I am the happiest I have ever been. Even though the state of my life is an absolute mess, I am free, untethered, and I love it. Story 42. For me, it's my job. I work with adults and children who have physical and developmental disabilities. I used to think I couldn't live like this, but they've taught me I'm stronger than I thought. I have been single for most of my life, and it's an ongoing joke within the disabled community here. Story 43. Because I'm not a quitter. Maybe it's the drive-on attitude that was instilled in me in the army. It's been super tough, though. Story 44. Actualmente tengo una relación de casi 11 meses, y me lo he preguntado cada mes, ¿cómo seguiré sin ella? Story 45. I tried going out to a local night spot. The place was pretty full, and I sat at the bar feeling like I was watching a television show. I felt more alone then than sitting at home by myself. How do I live? Day by day. Story 46. By enjoying the things I felt I couldn't appreciate when I was loving and living with others. Story 47. I have been focusing on this point for a while. There is love in everyone's life. It doesn't have to come from another person. It has to start with loving yourself first, which isn't easy, but I feel like that's the best place to start. I have lost interest in pretty much all my hobbies, so I am going back to basics in every aspect of my life. I am trying to figure out what music I really like, what food I genuinely enjoy, and how I feel when I spend time with certain people. When you have a conversation with someone, is it transactional, or do you simply enjoy speaking with them? I think when I find joy in these moments, I find love. At its core, it is probably just mindfulness, but I believe it is something more than that. Story 48. I went through a time when I felt a bit like this. I was fortunate to have love from my parents, but as I matured, I tended to overlook it. However, I love nature, so I found a lot of comfort in it. Story 49. Take all the pent-up love you are holding and reinvest it into yourself. That way, you will always be loved no matter what. Story 50. I hate to admit that I feel this completely, and I understand fully. This is where and when you need to learn to love yourself if you don't already. Become your own best friend, as you are the only one you can truly trust in this world. Stop looking for love from others. There has to be music that you absolutely love. Start from there and find love and beautiful things around you in nature. Discover the beauty in the world, which turns out is not hard to find. Don't feel that you need a person to experience love. Let your natural love grow inside of you, and when you're least expecting it, the right people will come into your life to love you for who you are. Story 51. Love does not only translate to romantic love. There are many forms of love in life. I love doing art, I love my cats, and I love my family. There are so many things to do in the world, and romance is only one of them. Story 52. You are, in fact, your own best friend and biggest cheerleader. You are responsible for yourself and yourself alone. Romanticize your life and enjoy what you do, even in the typical actions everyone takes. Story 53. You mean specifically romantic love? It's been a long time since I've had any of that in my life, but I keep going by focusing on my relationships with friends and family, as well as on myself, fitness, career, hobbies, and so on. I also maintain hope for new love someday in the future. This helps me to keep focusing on myself because if I ever do meet someone new, I want to be the best possible version of myself when that happens. Now, if you're talking about all love, like if you're saying you don't have any friends or family that you care about, then that would be a lot harder. I'd still focus on myself, trying to be the best possible version of myself and to be the kind of person that others would want as a friend. You never know what the future may hold. The opportunities are practically endless. All you can do is try to be ready when they present themselves to you. Story 54. What you need to do is wrap up the pity party, get out of your head, and go find someone you can help. Serve your community. People appreciate that. Story 55. There's plenty of love in my life, just not from a romantic partner. When I see a beautiful sunset, stand in front of the ocean, enjoy great food, or watch a fantastic movie, all of these experiences make me feel loved. I don't miss the people who are gone because they left for a reason. I focus on the peace and simplicity of not having them in my life anymore. If I ever had a relationship with someone I truly fell in love with, who loved me back, who I could trust and who understood me without causing pain, I might miss them. However, I don't miss any of the people who left my life. Their absence has made it better. Especially that one guy I loved. You made it so much harder to love again. I hope your next partner stands up for me. Anyway, I cherish sunsets, puppy kisses, and whiskers on kittens. Story 56. There is always love in my life because no one loves me like I do. And no one should love you like you do. Start there, friend. Story 57. I am largely going through the motions. Over the last couple of decades, I have tried to end it all on more than one occasion. Out of everything I am good at, I seem to struggle with that one specific task. It is aggravating. So fine. I will go on about my days. I will not actively try to stop my progress. I have chosen to handle it more passively. In the long run, I will get what I want anyway. It is just going to take a bit longer than I would prefer. Story 58. When you live alone, you learn to love yourself. From learning to love oneself comes peace of mind and independence, which makes it much easier to continue living. Story 59. That's the thing. There will always be love in your life. You just have to choose to see it. Just like to see is to believe, but the opposite, as in to believe is to see. Once you actively decide to seek the love in your life, fully trusting in it, you will find yourself in a myriad of situations where love is indeed present. In order to achieve this, please keep in mind that love comes in all sizes and shapes. Even more importantly, love can and should come from you, too. Love is not a passive feeling but an active one, and for you to feel it, I highly recommend you to be love itself first. Nothing but the best for you, genuinely. Story 60. I have an orange 6-month-old kitten. He's a monster, but he's still a sweetheart, and I love him with all my heart. He loves to cuddle with me, and he can always tell when I'm feeling depressed. He's my baby boy, and I can't imagine what my life would be like without him. Story 61. You can generate love from within, and it is not difficult. Have you ever seen the buds on trees or the moon, which symbolizes love, or pondered the cycle of death and rebirth you constantly observe around you? It is the coldest part of winter in the north right now, but soon crocuses will bloom, followed by violets, which I will then eat. Story 62. Love is a peculiar word in English. Honestly, it is challenging to navigate life without any form of love. However, it is possible to thrive even in the absence of romantic love. A significant aspect of this is the affection that comes from having close friends and others who care for you, even if they do not wish to be romantically involved. Story 63. Because it's gone now, you can't assume it is gone forever. Just because things are as they are right now doesn't mean they are going to be that way forever. Story 64. I'm trying to find joy in the smallest things, like taking a stroll outside and feeling the sun warm my face, or watching the night sky in its majestic glory. I enjoy hearing the birds chirp and the ducks quack. If I see a dog, I can't help but stare. Listening to the sound of leaves rustling in the wind often brings a smile to my face, even if just slightly. Story 65. I love cash, food, entertainment, and vacation. These are what keep me alive. Indulge and enjoy. You only live once, so don't let it be wasted. Story 66. There is a lot of peace and freedom in being alone. It is also important to be positive and remember that you never know when you will meet someone. Story 67. Very good question. If I had not promised my dad that I would take care of my mom and brother after he passed away, I suppose I would not be here anymore. Story 68. My brain interprets the challenge as starvation fueled by self-hatred. But seriously, there are people around you who do love you, even if it doesn't seem like it. Life is hard, and pushing through the toughest moments when you feel most alone allows you to become the best version of yourself in the future. You will get through this. Story 69. The knowledge that there is love out there and, with some effort, you can attain what you currently lack. Story 70. Ace Pride. No joke, though? We found love in a hopeless place. I genuinely have a hard time putting it into words. But yes, I romanticize my life. The happiness comes without me realizing it. Story 71. Every day is a day closer to the next good day. This quote I created has truly helped me through post-traumatic stress disorder and severe depression, as well as a challenging romantic life. It will always be true, which I find reassuring. Story 72. You have to love yourself before you can truly love someone else. Focus on taking care of yourself and being your own best friend. This way, you can truly live your life. Story 73. It's hard for me as the word and concept of love feel foreign to me. I say, I love you randomly at times as a nervous tic. I have done this for over 14 years. I say it to myself, to my cat, to my parents, even to my only girlfriend at the time. But I don't think I truly mean it. It's a filler phrase I keep repeating because I want it to hold meaning. Maybe if I keep saying it, I can trick my brain into understanding what love really is. The fact is, as someone approaching 31, I don't know what love is. My family tells me they love me, but it feels forced. I have only ever been romantically involved with one person more than a decade ago, and that was in high school. I don't know if that was really love or just obsession or puppy love. I don't love anything for the most part. I don't know how. I want to love and be loved, but the concept doesn't register in my mind. The thing is, I don't feel like I'm living. I feel like I'm just alive. How do I keep going? I don't know, just as love is foreign to me, so too is the concept of living at times. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.